Hey everyone, Matt Jarbo here with a quick update over the Mundane Cat GoFundMe. This is Chance. He is home from the hospital and he is doing much better. Everyone has been so generous so far. For that, I am eternally grateful. You guys have no idea. We're not quite done yet. 6,000 is the goal. We're almost there, and I just really hope you guys can help push it over. We are just over $4,200 in the GoFundMe, and we're almost there, but we need a little bit further of a push. If you can help, please go to gofundme.com/MundaneCat, and thank you again from the bottom of my heart. You guys totally rock. Thanks. Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is the Mundane Matt channel, and I'm just going to come out and say it. Marvel should probably stop making comics at this point. I'd say it's kind of done. They can never not seem to get themselves into some kind of controversy, whether it's a type of content that they are making, the poorly edited, poorly researched, poorly written content that comes out, gets hit with mass controversy due to its poor writing and then gets pulled 7 issues later. In this case, they made a special deal with a company, and then they got a little bit of backlash online, on Twitter, by the way. I will talk about that. And then they end up pulling the plug on this Northrop Grumman promo pact in the wake of online outrage. Well, Marvel Comics is all online outrage these days. Just look up diversity in comics and Marvel editors and Marvel writers trying to find ways to shut this guy down, going as far as to make thinly veiled threats about encountering this guy at a comic convention, right? Like, that's where things are at. But no, they worked a deal with a company for a promo. Oh, they're the bad guys here because this is the world we live in. Outrage at a proposed comics team-up of Marvel and defense contractor Northrop Grumman has led to the cancellation of the pact, which was allegedly going to be unveiled today at the New York Comic-Con. The partnership was announced on Friday afternoon via Twitter, but the angry reaction was probably not what either party was anticipating. No, but at the same time, use the controversy. For one, it's Twitter. Let's be realistic here. Twitter does not have the power or the impact it used to have, and to still act like it does is just wrong. Twitter's at a point right now where even Disney, the owners of Marvel, last year did not buy Twitter, instead investing in that BAM streaming service in order to make a competitor to Netflix. Twitter hasn't had any sustainable growth this last quarter. Its stock price is crap and people are leaving the service in numbers and no one new is coming in. All that's going to be left is the toxic outrage machine that a lot of people give into. Not to say I've never done it. I totally have, but I'm also willing to admit that it's an issue. Twitter is a place where nothing good happens anymore. In fact, if more people were able to give them the ability to kind of make themselves not tweet, like have that ability to turn that feature off, they'd probably be living better lives on the internet. But that's where I find it funny, is that it's got 400 million users, and Marvel Comics isn't really selling that much anyway, so it's not really going to have a lot of impact in general. But Twitter outrage now is enough to drive change for a small, vocal group of people. And that's just really interesting to me. Anyway, Marvel's website depicted a digital comic that positioned Northrop Grumman as the real-life counterpart to Tony Stark in the Avengers. Northrop Grumman is one of the world's biggest defense contractors, constructing bombers, military aircraft, laser weapons, and other instruments of destruction, but also built the Apollo lunar module and provides communications and technical equipment. To which case, I have to simply point out, Marvel has a storyline about a defense contractor or an arms manufacturer to an extent, so billionaires teaming up with superheroes. This is not a far-fetched storyline for Marvel. Not a far-fetched storyline for comics, where philanthropic billionaires don suits and fight crime. Who does that remind you of right off the bat? But apparently, because it's a real-life defense contractor, that's apparently too triggering for real people, not the actual implications of the storyline of Tony Stark and, let's say, Batman from DC, right? Or Danny Rand. I'm wearing an Iron Fist t-shirt, right? Billionaire philanthropist, also a crime fighter, whose fist is the immortal Iron Fist, which is a weapon. Just saying. It's kind of like not far-fetched for comics. So fans vented, but even some Marvel creators joined the backlash on social media. Saladin Ahmed, author of Marvel's Black Bolt series, vented on Twitter. So hey, Marvel's mythos is powerful and ubiquitous. I intend to use it to tell stories that scorn war and greed. My best answer right now, sorry. I get that. I guess some stories are about fighting back against war and greed. Sure. Some stories are not about that. Stories tell different things. I don't think Frank Castle is ever going to come out and be like, man, I should not have killed those people. Like, I mean, due process. Whew, I really should go into a different line of work. That's not going to happen. So again, stories tell different varying levels of ethics, morality. We question ourselves through them. They position themselves to be a certain thing for certain people for certain reasons. And so freaking out over a team up that's being done through a special, I guess you could say a special section of Marvel that does these kind of paid promotions is pretty funny to me. It is. I just find it to be really funny. Marvel quickly backed down in the wake of the anger and issued a statement saying the activation with Northrop Grumman at New York Comic-Con was meant to focus on aerospace technology and exploration in a positive way. However, as the spirit of that intent has not come across, we will not be proceeding with this partnership, including this weekend's events programming. Marvel and Northrop Grumman continue to be committed to elevating and introducing STEM to a broad audience. Science, technology, engineering, mathematics, for those of you who haven't heard that term echoed greatly on Twitter. And that's the whole thing there. It's like, so the spirit of the intent was not has not come across. So instead of explaining what the spirit of the intent is, you just pull the plug. This is my problem with these companies, is because they never have the backbone to stick to their convictions, right? People online haven't read it, haven't seen it, haven't done anything about it yet, and they freak out. Now, before you sit there and go, but Matt, didn't you rail on Ghostbusters for months leading up to its release? I did. The difference there was that they kept doubling down on the stupidity. It wasn't like there was a call out for how bad the trailer was and they pulled the plug on the film. It was, oh, the trailer sucks, the comments suck, let's make fun of that in a reshoot for the movie a few weeks later, and then continue to double down on the stupidity and lunacy until the film's release and leading until the film came out on home video, and then even more after that. There's an entirely different scenario there. Marvel hasn't even given this thing a chance to get some legs. I understand the idea of not wanting to team up with a defense contractor, but this is not like they were teaming up with Blackwater to tell a story, or as they're known now as Z, okay? XE, whatever. It's not like that at all. They're just, working on trying to work on aerospace technology, which is something that is so freaking cool. And to have a company team up with Marvel to tell a story about realistic technology in this day and age, using these characters to promote the idea of actually leaving the Earth's atmosphere and exploring the localized cosmos is a cool thing. But because people out there don't care to actually look into what the event is, and instead would rather bitch and moan on a dying platform, Marvel, well, got its nuts cut off and sat there and pulled the plug, which angers me. Give it a chance to live before you abort it. How about that, right? I'll take a conservative stance on there. Give it a chance. Let it come to full-on fruition. See what happens, and then pull the plug if it's not working. But don't preemptively pull this crap. And I think this has to do more about the wake of Vegas than it does anything else. We know that Marvel pulled the plug on the Punisher panel. We know that there's rumors right now that they're going to talk. Netflix is going to push back the Punisher TV series to probably sometime next year in order to not have it released so close to this national tragedy. And I understand why they want to do it, but at the same time, I don't view it as insensitive as the product to come out. They're not the same thing. They're not related at all. People can distinguish between fiction and reality. I'd like to think that they can. The average rational person, clearly not those who are losing their shit over this on freaking Twitter. But when we start coddling these things, even in moments of tragedy, we put ourselves in this bubble, in this own echo chamber, if you will, that it's hard to get out of. And it happened after 9/11 with Arnold Schwarzenegger's Collateral Damage, where there was a terrorist attack, and they pushed the film back a few months, even though the idea there was about getting revenge for what happened, which at the time probably would have been better to air right after 9/11 anyway, because people were already riled up and they're like, yeah, let's go see Schwarzenegger kill some terrorists. People always want entertainment in times of tragedy, whether it's lighthearted or dramatic. A person's desire is their different desire. And I don't feel that trying to hide back this kind of stuff is going to help anyone. I just don't. You can disagree with me. That's totally fine. Anyway, it goes on to say here, the co-promotion was intended to support the digital comic Avengers featuring N.G.E.N.S, a promotional item created by Marvel Custom Solutions, an in-house ad agency. The print editions that were to be handed out at Comic-Con will be an instant collector's item. Marvel indicated they will not be distributed, although they declined to say what would happen to the items. You'll probably be able to find them down the road somewhere. Marvel is not having a good Comic-Con. Earlier this week, Netflix pulled the panel for The Punisher in the wake of the Las Vegas shooting, which is true. They did. And it's, again, it's sad that they pulled this. It's sad that people reacted that they did, you know. And I know one of the people behind this was Rich Johnson from bleedingcool.com, who, and I'm just going to say it, Rich, you narc, you ran to Marvel. Did you see what's going on with your in-house ad company? Did you see, you guys? It's defense contractors. It's defense. You freaking narked them out, man. Like, what? And then you freaking bragged about it on Bleeding Cool. What kind of crap is that? And you wonder why people, I mean, your website gets views, but you wonder why people are just not taking you seriously anymore. Because that's the kind of mindset. Instead of like saying, well, maybe let's wait and see what this is, you run to somebody and you create you create drama and then use it as a way to try to get your own agendas pushed through. Well, I mean, it makes sense given who you are, Rich. Let's be realistic here. It's annoying, guys. It's so annoying that people out there can't let these things exist for a hot minute to see whether or not they work. We're so quick to pull the plug on things, you know. We're so quick to try to destroy something. We're so quick to try to tear it down instead of either trying to see what it's all about or come to some kind of understanding. Let maybe the dust kind of settle a little bit before jumping to conclusions. But we don't do that anymore. It's a new normal. It's a new normal now. It's if someone's outraged in Ohio, clearly there's reason to pull something. But people at the same time, and I'm just gonna say this affects anyone out there who's, you know, ever kind of been involved in one of these campaigns, myself included. I'm not gonna you know, take myself out of it. Sometimes we're susceptible to BS. Sometimes we're susceptible to the crowd, the mentality. Whether or not we think we are. Let's be realistic. We are. And as a result of that, it can lead us to some very dangerous places. You know, when you get a mob mentality, especially online, people behind their screens, behind their webcams, behind their phones, whatever, doesn't matter what it is. They can dictate the course of action of something they literally have zero idea about. And because they're able to mobilize so quickly, because they want to feel something, they want to be outraged, they want to be angry, they want to yell about something that really probably has nothing to do with what they're actually yelling about, but something in their own life, they would rather destroy. And the thing is, every time something like this happens, all of that BS, all of that lunacy is completely validated, which is a problem. Hey guys, that wraps up this video. If you'd like to leave a comment, please do so below. I love to read your guys' input. Be sure to hit that thumbs up button. It really does help me in the YouTube algorithm. If you want to support the channel, there's the Amazon affiliate store, there's PayPal, there's Patreon, there's Bitcoin. And if you're bored and you want something else to watch, check out 3 Buck Theater up here. My name is Matt Jarbo. I will talk to you guys later. Have yourself a wonderful day. Peace out.